everybody. Welcome out to this episode of The Main Talk. I'm Dylan Sasser, and filling in for Jaydan today is our editor, Kyrra Lunberg, and our layout director, Harlee Huff. So, this is kind of like our monthly wrap-up podcast kind of thing. So, we're going to kind of talk about some of the key articles and stuff, or stuff that we find fascinating from the March edition of the Main Street Journal.
Okay.
So, any ones that pop out to you guys?
I think one that'll be cool is Britton Wilson's doing one on what it takes to be a Payson High School cheerleader. And I don't know if I'm the only one that believes this, but I think our cheerleaders are like amazing.
We got good cheerleaders this
We
year.
got really good cheerleaders. They're like really loud and they're just
And they put so much effort into it.
and they're all so nice. I just love the cheerleaders.
They're just gems. Just gems.
At like our basketball games, we always see like the opposing cheerleaders. They come out to all the home games here, and they're not. I mean, they're okay, but they're not very loud, and you can barely understand it. But our cheerleaders, they enunciate really well, and they're loud, and they just do an overall really good job, and that's impressive to me.
Yeah.
So.
And it takes so much time and effort to be a cheerleader. Can you imagine going to practice every day and just throwing the smaller cheerleaders in the air? Like to train, to be able to just to chuck them, basically. I think that takes a lot of effort and a lot of stamina.
Yeah, obviously it's a pretty exclusive club. I tried to get in for the last couple of years, but they won't take me for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely would put you as a flyer.
Yeah, totally. I could see myself being hosted up at top
Yeah.
of the pyramid kind of thing.
I think you'd be an amazing flyer, Dylan.
Oh, so great.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
I believe I can touch
I believe
the sky.
I believe you can fly.
Another really cool one that this month we have a lot of new members of the staff coming in, and so we have a lot of like really interesting one like Carmen and Arlee's Costa Rica trip articles.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a cool story because like anytime people go out of the country for like a field trip or anything, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think Mr. Senor Peck is doing a lot for it, and I think those will be really interesting to see the works of Costa Rica and the trip and how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You see a lot of posters up for it in the halls. Obviously, you guys don't because you're not in the halls, but you got like pictures of like sloths and like incredible animals, and
Like birds.
be cool little trip to go on them. Wish I could go, but I have fear of flying and
I have no money.
no money.
I hear like it costs quite a bit of money. Like I bet like any trip that you really go on costs money, but where they're flying out of the country.
And staying there for,
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be
3 weeks, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks to make it worth it. I know the choir, their trip was like $1,000 or something
Oh, it
like
was
that.
over that.
It was over that. It's like 2,000.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money, and they're just going to Florida.
Yeah, so Costa Rica's probably like twice that, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a cool trip that they're going on. For sure, check out Carmen and Arlee's video and article, which is their first that they've ever done, and it's actually really good. I just had a chance to watch Arlee before I came in here, and it's really good for it being her first, I think, overall video she's ever made. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest parts of this magazine is you can see the progression that we make. Like you can see how we improve throughout the months, and I think that's cool.
yeah, one of my first videos I ever made for this class, I used a whole bunch of stolen pictures off the internet and just put them together in a video. It was one of my lower points in my entire life. It was rough. I watched it, I'm like, oh, it cringe. It was bad.
But the talent in this class is amazing, just to see the raw ability people have when they come in here, and then to be able to sit down and we just tell them make a video by the end of the month, and they just take it in stride and really, really go beyond the expectation.
And one of the issues with this class, there's no time to learn, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just thrown out there and like make a video you have until the end of the month. And
Definitely throw them to the wolves.
a lot of the times they'll be like just asking for basic help, and we're like, oh, why are you not here yet? But you got to remember that this is their first month in the class, and they're already having to make a video that's going to be shown to like 200 people.
Yeah,
So
I remember
nerve-wracking.
our first day in class.
Oh.
Little sophomores walk into this class, and we sit down, and then like the second day, he's like, "Okay, we need to pitch ideas and start making a video."
And
And we're like,
video.
okay. And so we went and got footage, you know, and it's crap footage because we don't know how to film anything. And
It's
then we
like
come back
shaky and it's
and they're
like
like,
all over the
okay,
place.
now what do we do? And they're like, oh, you need to make a video on the video program. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's that? So they show me and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And I think I asked Dylan probably 4 times a day, like
How to
do this? How do I import the videos? How do you do this? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he would help me.
Me, Tanner, and Jayden had the advantage of taking one of Perry's classes beforehand, so we kind of knew the basics. So, and that's kind of what this class is built around. Is like a few people know what they're doing and helping the rest of the class out. I mean, that first year we had me, Zach Gowans.
Oh, Zach. Bless his heart.
That's about it. Who knew how to edit
Yeah.
anything that year? So it's really cool to see how far the class has come. And we're the 3 core members of this class. Like we've come since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool to see how far we've come.
Yeah.
So Harlee, I want to talk about your
Oh.
your story a little bit.
So I'm very excited about it. So I decided to do a story talking about the sibling relationship in school because we
So
have
fun.
a couple sets of siblings in our class alone, and it is just so entertaining to see this. 'Cause
It's
like
entertaining for us just
Yeah.
to be here personally.
Dylan and his brother Daniel and their sister Courtney, and then there's Casey and Jesse, and just like watching them interact with each other, it's hilarious. And so
It's funny how awful they are to each other sometimes.
I wouldn't say awful.
And then you hear the stories later.
That's
and
how I
it's-
treat them all the time. Like, so I'm nice to them. That like I'm actually cleaning up a little bit here at school. So anyway,
Oh.
you gotta. I'm proud of the progress I've made in the kindness department with them. But
And they truly adore each other. Don't worry, guys. They try.
they love each other as much as siblings can, I think.
Yeah.
especially in a school setting, I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard going to school with your siblings. I got 3 siblings I go to school here with, and I mean it's intense. Like you can't lie to your parents about like, oh I didn't have math today, I didn't assembly. And then they're like, no we didn't. And then you're like, oh well, okay. I used to get away with it, but actually no, I've never been able to get away. I've always had a sibling in school with me. Like I've never not had that. No. 2nd grade, I think that was the only time I've never not had a sibling go to school with me. And it's just
Seems like a solid grade for you.
no, I hated 2nd grade. 2nd grade was awful.
So therefore, your siblings make school better.
3rd grade was worse.
That's perfect. I think this month in the magazine, we also have a couple of spotlights on certain students. I think that's kind of cool how we're not just doing the broad stories too. We're also focusing on the students.
And that's something we've been wanting to do lately, but we just haven't had like a student or a story to really tell it. Daniel's doing his on Bryce Weiberg, our basketball star here at Payson. And I've known Bryce since 7th grade. The kid's awesome. He's a great guy. He's a great player, obviously. Not a basketball player, not a relationship player. But he's awesome. And the fact that Daniel's doing it, he actually has an interview with Coach Mitchell, I think, today.
Woo!
It'll be, I will be skeptical to see if Daniel's video ends up in this month's magazine or if it ends up in April, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of hard though. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to get footage for a video because like you have to work around other people's schedule to get interviews.
Especially teachers. Teachers,
Yeah.
I love you guys, but you make it a little hard because you're so busy.
Yeah, how was it getting your interviews for the last lecture? Tell us a little about that.
Oh, they were good. Some teachers were a little more sassy than others to get interviewed. So I've split them up into, because there's 10 of them. So I've split them up into like a different group. But because of it being a respect thing and we want to really show the teachers that we respect them and care for them and what they've done for this school, we decided to keep it back an issue and put it into the April issue, so the April and May issues, because we want them to be able to, the videos to be good, and teachers are kind of hard at organizing to get video, and so I just didn't get the videos all in time. But I have them now, and they're getting built and ready to be put into the magazine, so that'll be good.
Contrary to popular belief, Kyrra does do work. Just kidding. Just kidding.
This month, Kyrra, or what she's talking about, is she's doing a last lecture where she's getting interviews with all of the teachers that are retiring, and we have a lot this year.
We have, I think, 10 in just our school and like 200 in the district. It's
Holy
this
cow.
massive amount of teachers retiring.
And 17 staff and
Yeah, just
teachers and staff here.
it's just this really big number. And so me and Piri have been discussing this idea that we wanted to, like in college, when a professor retires, they give what they call as a last lecture, where they take everything they've kind of learned in life, and then they take an hour basically in the lecture hall, and then people just go and listen to them speak about life and like what they've learned and how they can take from it. And so I kind of just went into the teachers and said, hey, I'm opening the time up to you. What did you learn while you were here, and what could you tell the students? And a lot of them were sassy and said, wear your seatbelts or learn to communicate without a phone in your hand. But when we peeled those back and got we saw real human emotion and how much they love their jobs and the students at PHS. And it was just really great to see how much love they have for the school.
So what are some of the teachers that are retiring this year?
So in this first issue, we have Mr. Howden, Mr. Alexander, Mrs. Benson, who's in the counseling office, Mrs. Matthewson, yeah, and Mrs. Bridges, and who was the last one?
Is it Robbins?
Nelson in this one. And then in the next one, we'll have Robbins.
Okay, Robbins may or may not be retiring because of our first period class this year.
That we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
It's
The
been
papers
bad.
are in, but
It's been bad.
it is. But we love our teachers, and we love the time they spend with us and how much they love us, considering we're high school students and we're annoying as heck. So
For sure, like a lot of those teachers have been here for who knows how long.
20 plus years.
Mr. Alexander was here when my stepdad went to school, and it was like his first year. And so, I mean, that just shows how long. And my stepdad's 42.
Yeah.
So they've been here for ages. And, I mean, the knowledge, that'd just be cool to listen to. Mr. Alexander, probably something to do with a stick.
No. He actually, he came out and he had 4 steps of what students could do to get prepared for college.
Well,
and
I'm surprised he
I
didn't
was
talk
very
about driving.
impressed. No, he did. The last step was something about
okay.
driving. Don't worry. But but it was really cool to hear them just sit down and really talk about it. Just to let loose kind of everything they feel about this school. I think I got Mrs. Benson to cry in the video, so you get to see that tears. It just really shows when you love something, and it really, really shows.
So, in our last episode of the main talk, I kind of talked about the Broadcast Awards, which happened recently, and that's what my
Yes.
article and stuff was on. I'm happy to announce that the main talk was one of the finalists for the best student-made podcast in the
Woohoo!
state of Utah, which is quite a feat. I'm pretty proud of it.
So give a clap for Daniel and Jaydan.
They're awesome.
Jaydan,
It's okay.
sorry.
That's my
Me.
second name, Daniel.
Daniel. The D Sasser. We don't know which one's who.
But going right along with Tanner's article as well as the sports broadcasting, me and Jaydan also won we got a finalist in the sports broadcasting department, which was another cool feat. And this was no surprise, but I won best dressed. I am the best dressed broadcaster in
yes.
the state of Utah.
With
So,
your Trump
Wait.
hat.
Out of everyone?
yeah,
Were you wearing a suit or were
I was
you
wearing a suit.
You
Oh,
were
good.
you were
That
is beautiful.
I have a
I believe
trophy
it.
at home.
You have a
says
tro-
best dressed.
Next time you'll have to bring it.
No, I don't want to.
Pull it out on the desk.
I keep it shined. That'd get fingerprints on it.
I'm surprised they caught you without your Trump hat on.
Oh, Mr. Perry wouldn't let me wear it. It was rough. So, that's
Oh
okay.
man.
So, Kyrra, you haven't really submitted any of your thoughts on which articles we should showcase. So, what do you think we should showcase? And
First of all, I think everyone does an awesome job in the magazine. One of them that's really cool, she's just coming in, and it's a really great idea, is Jessica Roulette. That's what I was going to say, but then I didn't want to say the wrong last name, but that'd be awkward. But she has this really cool article about man versus earth and the what is it called? The just slipped out of my mind. Climate change, thank you. And just kind of it, how it affects us and just kind of the basics. And it's going to be really, really cool because it's doesn't necessarily affect us immediately, but it still affects us. And I think that's a cool way to reach out and to pull different stories.
We talked about it before on the main talk, and it's certainly a controversial topic. I mean, you got one side who's like, humans are killing the planet, then you got the other side that's saying it's fake. As I've said before, I don't totally believe it. I believe that the climate is changed, but I don't think it's caused by mankind. I think that, as Norman said, that the Earth's has been here for millions of years, and it's going to be here for a million more years. So that's just my thought on it. What are your guys' thought on the whole thing? If you want to share, if it's too racy and it's going to offend 6 million people, then
Racy.
Racy is another term for
Well, I know what racy means, but I don't know if that fits the con. An article's racy? One of our articles are racy?
Never mind. We're moving on.
Okay.
Moving on. So if you want some more opinions on that, be sure to go check out that episode. Harrison has compiled all of this month's episodes of the main talk onto a single page. And he's worked really hard on it, even though I deleted the entire page.
Score one for Dylan. Score one.
And then stole someone else's page.
I'm really cranky with him.
It just shows who's the top dog here. Dylan can delete pages whenever he wants. And
when you're the EP, you're the EP, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to read our list from here, but I'm having issues making it out. Norman Dinkins did a thing that we've also talked about on here. We've talked about most of them by now, but software engineer shortage. And that's kind of something that I'm sure most high school students don't think about. Last thought on my mind is guys, there's a shortage of software engineers in the world. There's going to be 2 million jobs open by this time that people are just going to not work for. But I think a lot of his article has to do with high school training for future careers. And I know Hagen did something on internship as well. So, I mean, it is a big problem. We do have a lot of high school students not going it, thinking oh, software engineering is too hard. I don't even know how to spell this, this and that.
Software engineer. Dylan, do you not know how to spell it?
I'd rather not answer that. But it is kind of an issue. Here in Payson alone, we have tons of career training classes. All of Perry's classes, those are all journalism related and TV and broadcasting. Then you got the newspaper. You got
we have loads of engineering, drafting courses, tech theater, just a whole bunch of classes that involve things that you're going to need if you want to go into those fields.
Speaking of, if I can, career preparedness, Casey Hoshauer, she did a really cool article on SheTech, which is a program. It's I don't know what's an activity kind of thing.
It's
for women, for technology.
It's a conference.
I guess it's
summer program.
It's based around the STEM areas, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's just, I guess, a conference that girls go up to UVU and they talk with professionals in that area, and they get to do a really cool they get to talk with companies and do experiments and stuff. I think it's really cool.
And SheTech is obviously it's only for girls, but
you want to join? I knew it.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Especially when I took off the wig and everyone realized I was a dude. Dang, he just became the most attractive person in the room.
I just fell in love with him. every single
Like if we were
girl.
to take a vote, I'm pretty sure I would win at least by 70%. At least.
70?
At least.
There might be 30%.
So
that-
30% split up against everyone else in the
Wait.
room, and you get 70?
Girls like will say, "Oh, she's so pretty," so I might lose to those guys. But obviously,
Makes sense.
I'm a man, so I'm pretty attractive too. I'm best dressed in the state of Utah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and I was
Oh,
student
yeah.
of the month once.
Once.
Wasn't that last month?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my list of accomplishments are
Pretty high.
at 3 right now.
Is that going on all your college applications?
Student of the month.
I was student of
Best
the
dressed.
Student of the month once.
so whatever college I go to will know that they have best dressed student of the month ever.
Well, yeah.
Best dressed. Was it anchor or best dressed anchor or in what? Just best
Best
dressed?
dressed.
Just.
I stood up on a stage with a whole bunch of other people, and they voted on me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a sure plan to win best
I
dress.
beat a guy with suspenders.
With
Right
Dang.
there. Yeah, they were
Suspenders?
red suspenders. I thought he was gonna win. I really did.
That's amazing.
He was way better dressed than I was. It was rigged.
It was rigged.
I paid up judges. It was really cheap because I'm a high school student. Anyway, so one thing we've kind of started doing lately is where we tell like a random story.
Oh.
So I need to ask you guys if you have any random stories that you want to share right now.
Stories. I can't think of any right now.
I can't
Oh.
either. That's why I asked you guys.
Let's think. Oh, when I was dropping, okay. So, for Sweethearts, is that the last dance we had? Yeah. It's
Yes.
a girl's choice, okay. For Sweethearts, I got a taco box and I wrote the cute saying on it, right? And we drove up to Summit Ridge, which, for those who are listening in, has this massive hill, okay?
It's bad.
So we drove up this massive hill and we went and dropped it off the house, but the hill was still like continuing up, and he was pulling out for work, and my friend who's wearing heels looks at me and she goes, "I'm doing this for you," and she grabbed the taco box and ran up the hill with the taco box in her hand, mind you, and she went and knocked on his window while he's pulling out of the car, and she's like, "This is for you, bye," and ran out and starts running back like up or down the hill. So she's like in heels, like
gosh.
running. It was scary. Anyway,
Speaking of dance invitations, if I could just. So, I know in one of your past episodes you talked about the dance invitations.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Jessie, who took Jaydan,
Jayden.
when we were dropping off, so she got him a fish. So when we were driving over there,
Pause. She caught him a fish.
It's dead now.
it's dead. But the thing is we were worried about it dying on the way over there. Because we were driving and it like wasn't moving. And she's like, "What if I get there and it's dead? And I just leave this dead fish on his porch?" So we get there
died.
a few days later, okay? But so she runs up into her porch. It's alive when we leave it there. And I ran up with her and I was running back down and I saw the shovel and I'm like, "Jessie, don't trip on the shovel on your way back." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna. And so I'm running back and I hear this cong. And I am laughing so hard that I like almost tripped running back to the truck. And then Casey can't drive because she's laughing. So we're just sitting there. And Jessie's like, "You need to drive. Someone is coming to the door." And so we drive back to Santa Quinn and we realize she forgot the food, the fish food. So that is probably why the fish is dead. She forgot to leave the food. So chances are quite the...
Oh, that's a Kyrra thing to do. I would do that every single time. That was my biggest fear in elementary school. You know how they had the wires connected to the projector and then they just like pulled them across
yeah.
the gym?
Oh.
My biggest fear when I was a child, when I went up to go accept awards, was that I was gonna fall on my face every time. Like, I don't know, it was like some irrational fear that I like, but I had to like, why? Like, I was a dork. I had to like step all the way over them. It was so bad.
I can't tell you the numbers of times I've tripped on the cords in the...
Oh, it's a mess in there.
Every time.
But so your irrational fear in elementary school was tripping over cords in front of everybody, but that's understandable.
Yeah.
My irrational fear, it was rational. It's rooted in experience. It was second grade. Second grade sucked for me. Like, it was the worst year of my life.
Still, to this day.
I would say so. It was rough, but like we had like this blanket party. That sounds. I can't remember what it was called.
Sounds dirty.
That sounds off now that I'm saying it. But
Blanket
it was a
party?
blanket party. We watched a movie, but so everybody would bring a blanket. Well, I had
Is this
a.
in Idaho?
Yeah, it was in Idaho. So I had like a blanket. It was like Blackfoot Broncos, the high school there, and it was a super cool blanket. It was just cool.
Get all the ladies.
And well, no, I got the coolest kid in school, Keller Hyde. See, he was all like, "Hey, I see you got this cool blanket." And like, off once again, second grade, he was all like, "I was wondering if we could share the blanket." And he was like my friend for this entire day. It was incredible. I'm like, Keller Hyde's now my friend. Well, I was on this high throughout the entire day, and I had been wearing a pair of pants I hadn't worn in a while. And I was getting a drink right before the party, and I was at the drinking fountain. So I hear Keller laughing behind me. And I had a hole in my pants, but I didn't know that. No one told Dylan. He just said, like, everyone was laughing at him. He was like, "Oh, this is awesome. I'm getting attention." Like, second grade Dylan, I still like attention, but, like, back then it was even worse. So I'm sitting here walking around like, "Yeah, I got a hole in my pants," but I didn't know that. And it, like an hour later, my teacher's like, "Dylan, you got a hole in your pants." And everyone still laughed at me throughout the entire day.
Aww.
So now I have a fear of a hole in my pants. So that's my rational fear.
That's
So
Note to Jaydan, cut holes in all of Dylan's pants. Thank you.
I would probably cry. But another thing is like your fly being on them. That's just a rational fear all around. Like
It's the worst when someone's like XYZ, XYZ, and you're like, dude, just tell me straight out. We're in 10th grade. We're like juniors. Come on, man.
Yeah.
when I was on stage for Best Dress, I thought my fly was undone.
That would have been so
I thought,
embarrassing.
yeah, it was rough. Well, we're beginning to run out of time. So there's the bell. Be sure to check out this month's edition, which is going live today as of March 1st, 2nd, whatever day it is. Thank you to Kyrra and Harlee for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Jaydan is in California, and we
He's a
hate
loser,
Jade for it.
and-
We love him. Love you, Jaydan.
And we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.